floor plan, which I really don't recommend. We just don't have the time or the wherewithal to do that. And so we did create some findings as well, to try to limit the scope so that this isn't brought in, you know, as another guarantee, or another person can come in and just blindly request these things. We want to take these and make sure that they stand on the merits of, you know, the request that's being made.
For the minutes and for the record, I want to make it clear that the Plan B was a subcommittee recommendation that we brought up at the last meeting, which was to go to a conventional revolving loan. And for the record, the subcommittee, which has had different participants, feels fairly strongly that loan guarantees are not our preferred way of operating with revolving loan funds. That said, as Steve said, you know, after some research, and I would like to ask Terry to comment on this UCC, just so we're clear about what happened there. The subcommittee looked at this and recommended, voted and wants to recommend to the EDA to approve this loan guarantee, or recommend to the council to approve this loan guarantee. If you could just explain what the UCC issue was.
You file a financing statement to indicate that you have a security interest in that collateral, whatever it might be. And if there's a prior one, the importance of the filing is the date and time is important. If it's filed before you, they have priority over you, unless you have what's called a purchase money security interest that's filed, and then you actually specifically list that you have a purchase money security interest. And then the only way to do that on a floor plan is to actually itemize the cars. And so you have to itemize them, and you have to verify that the money went for this car, this VIN number, and when it's brought back in, then you do a new one, it's another purchase money filing on that car. That's the only way that you can get priority over someone that may have a prior UCC financing statement filed that would have what's called an after acquired property clause in it. Then they have a blanket security interest in anything you might buy or anything you might acquire, unless it's a purchase money. And then the specific requirements of that are that you have to identify the piece of property, and then the money has to be used for that piece of property when that's sold. Then you replace it with another one that's another purchase money, and you just have to routinely just do that for every vehicle. And if you don't, and if you got into a default arrangement, you would lose priority to the person that had the after acquired property clause.
And staff was quite clear after we were talking with Kathy and talking among themselves and studying the issue that in lieu of a UCC, just managing the floor plan out of this office was not feasible.
Unless we want to hire him full-time just to do that, and our $16,000 loan probably wouldn't work.
And so that put us to the question at the last subcommittee meeting, would we guarantee that, and, you know, everything else is being exhausted, we've reduced the amount, we've taken some of the other security issues out of the picture, would we guarantee $16,000? And the subcommittee voted unanimously to recommend to the EDA to approve that. Steve, you want to cover the findings?
The findings, basically, first is traditional financing is not an option. They requested the $16,000 guarantee in order to obtain a line of credit. The second is the line of credit must be established within a reasonable interest rate where the EDA reserves a right to withdraw the guarantee pledge. So just in case if for some reason they wanted to sock you with a 20% interest rate, you know, we'd want to say no to that and let you go find another place. The owner's other collateral has already been encumbered to secure previous debt. Village Auto's been in business in Rushford for 3 years. The loan guarantee helps to retain the business in Rushford. Is that right, 3 years? Complexity of the floor plan and required to secure the loan would create too large a burden on city staff. And the guarantee would allow a separate institution to handle the floor plan. And as we stated before, Village Auto will be responsible for reasonable reimbursement of legal fees and documentation if required. another finding could be that this is not the preferred lending. I mean, you could make a finding on that.
In the minutes, I mean, we have to have this discussion more broadly at another time, where the whole EDA can weigh in. But so far, and we're split on it, right? I mean, we split last EDA, so I think it's a good discussion to have. Is this appropriate? Is this the way we want to the subcommittees that have looked at it have, for good reasons and diverse, I mean, not just me talking, diverse reasons, asked a lot of questions, and come to the conclusion this is not a preferred instrument for us. We'd rather loan, revolving loan funds than use them. And a lot of it gets into the relationship with the lender. We don't have a relationship with the borrower. And that, in times of difficulty, that raises a lot of questions. So at any rate, that's all kind of moot right now. What we need is a motion to advance this.
I'd also like it to be clear that this is not staff's, let's beat the EDA down until we get the answer that we're looking for. That's not our intention at all. It just, we were asked to find a better way, and I think we made a good faith effort to try to find another way to do it.
And as I peel myself off the floor, I say, sure. I concur.
What's the term?
What's the term?
It would be a year.
And
I mean, I think reasonably, you're looking at this money could be tied up for, a couple, 3 years.
because it's a revolving line of credit, correct?
Right. I mean, at some point, the intention is, and through reporting we'll be able to see this, is that they're buying the cars using their own money. And so the reliance on the line of credit becomes less and less.
Where is our reporting in here? Because we don't have a loan. That's always been,
Forbearance,
they're not in forbearance.
Well, then we can request
I think that's an important
you want
finding.
quarterly?
Yeah.
Quarterly report?
Or every 6 months. I mean, we don't need to.
Well, I think it should be quarterly, at a minimum.
I'll yield to you on that. Yeah, we should have some sort of an agreement with the borrower to be able to track your progress. If it's working, then the tone in the water changes our attitudes about this, and we do have a business plan that makes some projections about doubling the number of cars sold in the first year, and then having that, but increasing again in the next year. And if that is indeed what's happening, I mean, we can visually see it, but if that's happening, your business is growing and succeeding. We want to, do more if necessary, or at least pat you on the back for succeeding.
So we'll add 2 findings. One, that Village Auto will report on a minimum quarterly on information that we're requesting. And then the 8th point would be that we can get reasonable reporting from the lender.